Alright, so that was the assembly of the new EG4 6 battery rack available from Signature Solar. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward. So I'll just go ahead and do a very short review. I'll pull it in better lighting here. So it came with these instead of casters. I assume they're little legs you can use to mount. I haven't counted all of these bolts. I assume there's enough for each battery. So let's see, 4, that's 2 batteries, 3 batteries, 4, 5. Yeah, it looks like there's 6 batteries. I'm a little disappointed it didn't come with casters. I just happen to have some. Key seems to work well. I did have to put an additional washer here to get this to function. There are no instructions, so yeah, go for it. Looks like everything looks good here. On this side, the negative side, pretty easy to assemble, honestly. I mean, I just put the 4 legs on and then flipped it over as you saw and put the other side on. It does look, you know, some of these screws in here needed to be loosened for the L brackets, which is fine. And then I think the only thing is you want to make sure that these 4 screws on the back side are present. So there's a screw, or there's a nut here that you want facing the back side so that you can screw the back on. The back did come with 4 black bolts, longer black bolts. A little bit of shipping damage there. No real way to tell what's up and down other than some random made in China stickers. It does appear, though, after putting in all the bolts, that I'm 6 bolts shy of completing this installation. This particular piece, the top piece, does seem like it should be flipped over. So that would require longer bolts here. So that's what, 16 bolts. But the only way to use the included bolts are to flip this piece upside down. You know, you would think that this would look better flush. So I might run to the store and get some longer bolts. There are longer screws for that. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. I guess the end thing to do here is to put the batteries in, clearly. Here's an image of the caster wheels I used. These I don't think will be sufficient to hold the weight of 6 batteries, but I have 4. I think they're rated around 100 pounds a piece, so it'll be right at the limit. You can clearly mount a different set of casters, probably with a 4 bolt base plate. Everything was easy, nice and square. No real issues there. Overall looks good. Let's just set this down and then see if we can slide a battery in. Alright, so there's one of the batteries slid in. I don't have the brackets screwed on for the life powers yet, which allow you to mount them to the bolts here. those are included with the Life Force. So that's about it. Right, so I just wanted to add this little piece here. So these are the mounting brackets for the batteries, and you can see that the bolts that they include do not line up. So before you put your batteries in, I would suggest adjusting the height of those nuts before you put your batteries in. And then, you know, with this first battery, doesn't really seem like the height is going to agree with one of these squares perfectly. So where the nuts go. So we'll look at that. Alright, yeah, so batteries in. You know, the bolts actually lifted off of the plate in the front, which maybe is normal, but you know, so it's a little bit elevated from up here, touching in the back. And all these, on mine at least, they needed to go down one notch here, and then up one notch here, and then they fit fairly well. So battery number 1 is in. Looks like it's good to go. Alright, so that was a really short video on the assembly of the new EG4 battery rack that actually has a door. So again, everything looks good, and then I'll probably post some videos on what I'm actually doing with this new rack in a few weeks or so. Alright, thank you very much. Until next time. Gap between these two and this brace down here is pretty significant. Doesn't fit on the bottom one like the others, and so that just means that the hole that they drilled in for this is not quite aligned correctly. You know, the millimeter off. No, not a millimeter, 5 millimeters off. There's another screw mount down there, but that will not work. So I'd either have to re-drill and tap that, which is fine, but I don't really want to, so I'll probably just live with this gap. So these three are going to be equal, and then this one has a bigger gap.